You guys remember that cheap Miata video we just posted? Well, thanks to the internet, this is the quickest turnaround time ever on buying a car. It's time for the big reveal. What do we buy, everybody? Is it a Toyota MR2 Spider? Is it a BMW Z3? No! We bought a Miata. Of course we bought a Miata. We told you we were buying a Miata. And it's obviously from these jelly bean shaped headlights that Peter hates so much. It's an NB. 99, but I'll let Peter tell you more about that in a minute. But first I want to thank everybody for sending us a ton of posts to Craigslist ads and Facebook ads. All kinds of stuff came in.
So many NCs.
Tons of good deals on NCs. Unfortunately, they were all, and some of them were really well priced, but when we did the math on how far away they were, and then with the conversion rate from Canadian to US dollars, which is terrible right now, it's at like 35 or like 75 cents to the dollar. I don't know what's going on.
It's bad, yeah.
It's not great. So when we did the math on that, it just made sense to buy a local car. And then this car came up at a very good price, in very good condition. We could certainly call it Canadian mint. It might even be American mint. There's very little rust on it. And these cars up here tend to be pretty bad. So exciting to find a car that is in as good shape as it is. But maybe I should let Peter show it off to you, since he's actually the one who went and looked at it, green lighted it, and slammed down those Canadian dollarettes on it.
As most of you know, I desperately wanted an NC Miata, but like DP mentioned, the cost was just a little bit too high. And I was actually a little bit hopeful that we may find one up here. However, when a deal comes up, and one that is really, really good, I could not pass it up. And originally, when I saw this car, I was a little skeptical, but the person that was selling it was really honest in his description in the ad, and I thought, you know what, I'll go look at it, because I had looked at a bunch of them, and every time they were mint, they were all rotted. This one, however, I was hopeful for, and when I saw photos of what it looked like in the engine bay, that's when I said, wow, this car may actually be as clean as the owner says it is. And here it is, the reveal of the motor, and as you can see, it is clean in the sense that there's not much rust. It looks like it had a bunch of undercoating on it before, which is probably what saved it, but like, look at these bolts, DP.
Yeah, those are clean.
That's clean. These are clean up here, like the whole engine bay. Look at this right here on plastic. Wow, like everything is in remarkably good shape.
And this discoloration on the firewall is not rust, that's like undercoating?
Yeah, that's definitely some undercoating that has been removed after, I think, a good power wash or two. Underneath, which we will show you in a moment, because I actually haven't had a good look underneath. We'll put it up on the hoist and take a peek, but it also looks very, very nice. So I'm sure many of you are wondering what I paid for, how much I paid for this car. Originally, the owner wanted $4,700, but after a little bit of talking back and forth, we decided on $3,700, which I think is a smoking deal for this car in terms of it having an LSD. A lot of you mentioned the LSDs are really expensive and they're hard to find. So this was a 99 base model with a standard S package, which meant it does have the LSD. We will confirm that when it's on the hoist, but it turned out to be really good in that sense. It's got these fast wheels with Riken Raptor tires. Obviously, we're going to be swapping this stuff out. The reason why I was able to knock $1,000 off is the throwout bearing in this car is extremely noisy. We'll fire it up in a bit, but it definitely needs to be done. So it's not like this is just going to be an easy car for us to fire up and go. There are some things that we're going to need to fix on it. Obviously, we're going to modify it, but let me drop the top here. You guys can get a better idea of what it looks like inside. I love Miata tops, by the way. Like, how
nice
easy is that?
Yeah.
It's no M3 in terms of waiting around for the roof to do its folding thing.
Yeah.
So inside, it's very clean. The interesting thing to note is I don't think the previous owner did this. The previous owner actually that I bought it off of, he only had it for like 2-3 months. He bought it as a project and then decided to do something else. But so the previous owner to him painted all of the trim silver. Again, debatable whether that's a cool thing or not. I would never do something like that, but hey, it somehow is fitting for this car. The steering wheel here, check this out, DP. I love this.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the full, like, you can rock it and like do your gangster lean roll without ever actually releasing the steering wheel.
It's impressive.
So
That'll gotta go.
Yeah, that's it. The seat has been covered up in certain spots, like with this fabric. I mean, kind of a cool thing to do. Why not, right?
Sure.
Why not? Why not?
Oh,
And of
you know.
course, it has the quintessential
Ooh, yeah.
seatbelt foam pads that say "Powered by Mazda."
Nice. Powered by a 1.8 liter BP.
That's
of course.
right. So this is a 1.8 liter. Other than that, the rockers have been fixed here. So I noticed this has been repainted. So both sides have been done. I think there was a little bit of rust. Like the Miatas up here, extremely common to have rust in this area. I don't know why. I'm sure there's just like water gets in somewhere and causes it. So this was fixed on the other side, which I'll show you in a sec, was also done. It's not as good a job. So I don't know. Somebody was lazy on that side, whatever. Here it looks like there was a little bit of either like a minor fender bender that was fixed with some Bondo and whatnot. I can kind of like see the creasing and the pit marks. Yeah. Bumper definitely been repainted, as you can see.
Overspray on the light.
Yeah,
there.
a little bit of overspray. Other than that, like on this side, it's clean, it's good. Like this area, you can see from here to here, definitely a little bit of work done. I can see the Bondo there, but like the rockers, the rear area here, very good shape. Nothing like that. It looks like OE paint. It hasn't been repainted. I can't see any marks here. So I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments what you think. Was this a good deal? I definitely think it was, especially considering the condition of it. It's got 205,000 kilometers on it, and it's not going to need a lot of work from us, which is good. We're going to be able to just do a bunch of modifications and be ready to hit the track before the season starts. So I think now let's put this thing on the hoist and have a look underneath, because I'm as curious as you guys are to probably see what's under there.
Got to put my glasses on to spot the rust, PT. And actually, there isn't that much rust to spot. I mean, for you Arizona guys or you California guys, this might look like a lot of rust to you, but to those of us in the north, this is just superficial.
Bolt threads are
cosmetic.
there.
Like we can actually see the degree marks on the eccentric bolts here. That's a very good sign. There's really, it's rot that you want to look out for, like things that literally look like they're flaking off and rotting, and we just don't have any of that on this car. So it really is in very good shape. Looking at the rear end, it's kind of hilarious seeing how tiny the rear sway bar is. Like, what is that, like a 10 mil diameter?
It doesn't even look like it would do much, but I'm sure it does.
I assume that these cars don't need much rear bar. I know on my RX-8 I needed front bar, but I often would disconnect the rear bar on that car. So maybe if you guys know what sway bars these cars tend to like, let us know in the comment section and help educate us on these things. Looks like it maybe it's had a little exhaust work done here, because those don't look like factory welds to the resonator, do they?
Those are full goober spec.
Those are full goober spec right there. In fact, the exhaust system in general is not in great shape, is it? The heat
It's complete,
shield
but yeah.
on the cat is like gonna rattle and is all loose and rusted out here. So,
But look at the bolts, DP, on especially this like, what is this? This strengthening tube.
oh, these
that
braces
runs-
here, yeah, these bolts are all like nice and rust free.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that you can see the PPF here, the power plant frame brace. I guess being a convertible without the stiffness of a roof, this adds some stiffness. Although they do these on the FDs as well, so it's just a sports car chassis stiffening thing that they did in this era.
Floors look good.
Floors look good. Like the frame rails, you know, they've been jacked on. You can see they're kind of dented up in places. And by the way, all this white stuff, it looks like somebody drove over a can of paint, because you can see it's like peeling off the oil pan here. It just looks like somebody drove over a white can of paint. So it's unique. I've never seen that before, but again, everything looks to be in good shape. Like look at these eccentric bolts up here. Like the actual washer with the markers on it is basically not rusted at all. So I don't think we're going to be fighting with like a lot of seized nuts and bolts on this thing when we work on it. Obviously we'll change out the wheels and tires, because 17s look a little too big on the car to me. I know you don't mind them, Pete, but I mean,
Yeah,
on 15s,
they're not
just
bad,
looks
but like
right.
at 15s look so
15s
good on
look
this
right
car
on
with
this
some
car.
nice meaty
Yeah.
R comps.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, we have those 15-inch hypergrams off your Bros EK. Maybe we should throw those on here for
Yeah, let's have a look.
for a look.
DP, you weren't kidding about these brakes.
I know,
They
eh?
are pretty tiny. Wow. And as I mentioned before, check out the paint job on these.
Yeah.
So this was done halfway on the calipers. So it's half yellow. Somebody said, you know what, maybe painted it through a wheel even. And I can see it was painted prior to that in red. So someone was like, you know what, I like the red theme. I'm going to go to yellow this time around. But speaking of red, we should mention up front here,
Oh, yeah.
the tow hooks were
Woo.
also painted red.
So racy.
Yep, adding a little bit of sports car
Even
action
the
there.
tips of the license plate frames are red.
This is just puzzling. Like, I mean,
That's next level.
someone's gone next level. But anyways, let's grab our Koenig hypergrams here and let's see what these bad boys are gonna look like if we decide to run these on here. Wow, how cool is that actually? I love the bronze on the silver.
Yeah, it's a nice
That's
combo. I
looking
agree.
really nice here.
Yeah, for those of you curious, these are a 15 by 7.5 hypergram with a 225 45 15 Nankang Air 1 on there, which you guys would have seen in our 15-inch versus 17-inch wheel and tire shootout. So we just had these kicking around and thought, 4x100, bro. Let's
Yeah, look
fit
at
'em up.
that. And the offset looks good. So maybe what we'll do is put the rear ones on, lower this thing down, and let's see how it looks.
Man, browns on silver really is a killer combo. I'm loving it.
Yeah, these Koenigs look fantastic.
And it does pass the fist test, Peter, but not by much. There's a lot of wheel well gap there, so that's obviously something that we'll fix. Which raises the question, what kind of mods should we do to this car? Obviously, we're gonna have to do safety mods because we don't want anyone hurting themselves in our car, so it will get a roll bar, it will get a race seat, and it'll get a harness and a racing steering wheel.
Some people also made a lot of comments about making modifications to the floor of this car to fit a racing bucket, right?
Yeah.
So if people have suggestions on how to get the seat as low as possible, by all means, let us know with that.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to our original like help us find a Miata video where I said that I thought the NBs had more room than the NAs did because we did an NA versus NB forced induction shootout video that we can link in the top corner over there. And that NB I fit into so much better than the NA. I assumed there was a chassis difference there, but it just turns out different seats installed in different ways, and it made the NB much more roomy. So the Anjavar Motorsports guys NB fit me really well, so I'll probably look at what they did and maybe replicate those mods. But if you guys have any tips and tricks about how to get as much space as possible inside these cars, by all means let us know. As for the rest of the performance-oriented mods go, obviously I think we got to do coilovers on the car. These cars are just too soft and too rolly stock, so we'll put a coilover on it. But we are going to try to keep this as budget conscious as we can. So we're not going to put motons on here. I'm not sure what we'll end up doing. It's still completely open, but we'll also obviously do a wheel and tire package on the car. Not necessarily this exact wheel and tire package, but I don't know. Let us know what you think. But I kind of like the idea of using maybe a slightly smaller than optimal sized package. I mean, you can fit 15 by 9s with like 245s on these cars if you put a flare on it. And that looks super cool and gives us the most grip possible. But maybe we want a car on like 205s so that there isn't as much grip. The car moves around a bit more, makes it more challenging to drive at the limit, more exciting to drive, maybe more likely to see some guys spin out. I don't know. I just kind of like the idea of maybe limiting grip a little bit to see the car move. Yeah, so let us know what you think is kind of like the ultimate cheap challenge track car based on an NB Miata, and we'll certainly take a close look at all your comments. We do really appreciate all the feedback we've already had. It's been really helpful, and we're learning quickly about these cars. So it's time for the Will Dave fit test. Let's see how this goes.
Well, I certainly hope you fit.
I should fit. I'm not that big. I'm just husky. I'm dad bod sized.
Man, DP,
All right.
you look good in there.
Oh, I mean, I look good in
Dare I
everything,
say you look hairdresser good?
but- Well, with this beard, I'm not sure if I qualify as a hairdresser, but I look like I'm the right age demographic to be driving a 20-year-old Miata. I see what you mean by the release pairing seeing a bit iffy. Fires right up though.
Ooh.
Purrs like a kitten.
Oh yeah, so you can hear it when you push it in and out.
Yep.
Got a little bit of a belt squeal.
Yeah, and There's a lot of engine vibration when I rev it up, so I think the engine mounts are probably back.
Oh yeah. Give that a rev, DP.
There it goes.
Yeah.
We broke it in nice. Italian tune-up. All right, PT, let's go for a rip.
Well, the clutch is a problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it does take some getting used to, but
Engage is super high.
It's super high, so that will definitely be on the list of replacements needed.
You think it just needs an adjustment, or
No, I think we need a new clutch. The bearing is shot, so while we're in there, we'd be stupid not to replace it.
Fair.
And what do you think of that pedal spacing? So there are some, I think there are active.
Reactive, yeah.
Yeah, reactive pedal covers that the previous owner put on, and the spacing is off. They're like way too close and whatnot.
Very dangerous, in fact. Because you might go for the brake and catch the throttle at the same time.
And an experienced person on the racetrack may do that.
Yeah.
I mean, which would make for awesome content, but would probably more than likely write this car off.
Yeah, not a good scenario. It's dangerous, and oftentimes those kinds of cheap pedal covers fall off.
Yeah.
So I would get rid of those in a hurry. But it goes down the road okay.
It drives straight.
Yeah, it's not pulling.
It doesn't make really bad noises aside from the release bearing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it moves.
The clutch is, I mean, I'm getting used to the release point of it. It's drivable for sure. I'm just not used to the clutch engaging so high. It's weird.
It's got a little bit of pep, right?
Well, you know, it's got that big block 1.8 PT.
Oh, yeah.
Put those 1.6 guys to shame. And of course, it's got the usual like light Mazda feel to it. The steering's really light.
Yeah, and by light you mean everything rattles in here. Like these cars certainly weren't built to, I think, a standard that was for comfort and like NVH. It's kind of the exact opposite, but really that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, it's not a Lexus, that's for sure.
No.
But I mean, there isn't a lot of like rattles. There's a little bit of a rattle in here somewhere, but
well, I see there's a couple panels, like the panel underneath the steering column's loose. So
this is a rough road too. So the fact that it's not a rattly mess in here is pretty
DP,
good.
Give me a first gear pull here. I want to see what this thing feels like. Oh, spinning the tires. Oh,
lighten those break-ins up, bro.
Oh yeah.
The clutch is slipping like crazy.
It's a beauty. Oh, it feels, you know what? It's not
pretty heavy.
That isn't bad.
Yeah.
For like with two of us in the car.
Yeah.
Well, we can say the motor seems like it makes the power it needs to make.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for a laugh we could throw it on the dyno and see what kind of power it makes, but
I think it'd be embarrassing.
It might make 100 wheel. Who knows?
Yeah.
But these things weigh what? 2,300 pounds.
Honestly, that did not feel bad. Like on a racetrack, if you're winding it out, it should be good. In terms of space, like I don't find it that cramped. Like,
pretty
we've got
good.
enough room.
I could certainly wear a helmet in here.
Yeah, and that's like with this stock seat.
Yeah.
Once we get a bucket into it, I think it'll get. It could get lower.
Yep.
I don't like the shifter or the shift knob. I find it's way
slick.
too low. I'd like to have it higher up.
Yeah.
Well, DP, I think.
Actually, before you wrap this,
okay.
I have one other question for the internet, and that is a style question. There's so many ways to build Miatas. I'm wondering, like, first of all, it needs a front lip desperately. To me, that's non-negotiable.
Yes,
Gotta have a front lip on it. But, like, do we do the fender flare thing that's so popular on these cars right now? Do we do a wing? Like, what do we do style-wise with it? Because being like a fun track challenge car, I think it should have some style. I think it should have a look. Like, just showing up with a plain Jane Miata might be kind of boring, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the cleanliness of it. I think a small little front lip is nice. I'm personally against the over fenders. I find, I don't know, they're a little common and they take away from the stockness of it. And they raise
It's a track car, PT.
But they raise the intimidation factor for people that are coming to drive this car that are newbies. They look at this thing and they be like,
fender flares.
Oh my goodness.
So scary.
That's right.
So no Bozuzuka tailpipes.
No, I don't think so.
No like duckbill spoiler out back.
No, I don't think so. Maybe, who knows?
No like
Why don't you guys
vents on the hood and the fender.
Who knows? Maybe maybe in the comments if people want that, we will give the people what they want.
All right, well, now is your chance to wrap up.
All right, well, I think that is a wrap on this video. By all means, please post in the comments what you think of this purchase. Do you think we did well? Do you think we, you know, some of you said, oh, you're doing a Miata, everyone's done a Miata. Are we kind of too late to the on the boat here? But just please let us know what you think. And as always, thank you for watching. We certainly do appreciate it. If you're feeling generous, throw us a couple bucks on Patreon, help fund this Miata build, and check out speedacademy.shop for all your merch needs.
But wait, there's more. You remember that does DP fit thing we just did? Well, now it's time for the real test. Does Moose fit? Let's go, buddy. Jump in there. Show us what you got. It's gonna be a tight fit. We need a shoehorn to fit him in there.
No problem, Moose. You're ready to rip. Come on.
I'm giving birth to the steering wheel,
Let's see how.
and I'm hard up against.
He has here. That'd be none. Can you steer with your knees against the wheel like that?
Well, like my legs tight up against the center console, tight up against the steering wheel. So I technically can't. I sure as hell can't heel toe.
No. But if we put a race bucket in it on the floor, you might have a chance.
Yeah, I think if I drop it to the floor, we drop the seat to the floor, and small steering wheel,
Yeah.
I have half a chance.
Half a chance. Well, there's a half a chance that you'll see Moose driving this thing come summertime, maybe in a big boy challenge against our buddy JP from Stripping Tech. See which giant fits in this car and goes fastest.
That would be amusing.
That would be fun.
Because he makes me look small.
He does, yeah, he's a 6'8" giant.
Yeah.
So I got nothing more to say. Tuning seatbelts with scissors. 100% street legal.
Can you slide it through now?
Come on. You piece of garbage. Oh, it's still folding over here.